Namaskar and welcome to Sansad Television. I am Vishal Dahiya and you're watching our show Perspective, where we bring you detailed analysis of key national and international issues. Today we're going to talk about an issue related to the world of academics and the idea of having a common entrance exam for JEE, NEET and CUET for undergraduate courses. Now, the University Grants Commission, that is UGC, is working on a draft plan to bring engineering and medical entrance examinations in the country under the Common University Entrance Test for undergraduates, which is also known as CUET-UG. The UGC chairman, M. Jagadesh Kumar, has said that according to the new proposal, instead of appearing in 4 subjects, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, in 3 different entrance examinations, students can choose to study in different subjects after taking only 1 entrance exam. At present, approximately 43 lakh students appear in 3 major entrance exams in the country, which is for the engineering joint entrance test main, medical entrance national eligibility cum entrance test, graduation and CUET-UG as well. Now, in JEE Mains, students have to appear for mathematics, physics, chemistry, while NEET-UG involves biology instead of mathematics. These 3 or these topics, these subjects are also part of CUET-UG's 61 domain topics. To further understand this particular proposal and its significance, we're joined by a distinguished panel of experts. Let me first introduce them to you, beginning with Professor Sushma Yadav is with us here. She is a member, University Grants Commission. We're also joined by Professor R. Kanhere. He is also with us. He is the chairman of AFRC Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh and also a member of NTA. Professor Rajendra Pandey is also with us. He is the Vice Chancellor of West Bengal University of Health Sciences and a part-time member of the National Medical Commission also. Welcome, both of you gentlemen. As well, let me begin with you, Professor Yadav. Let's start by understanding what this proposal is all about. What is it that the UGC and the UGC chairman is trying to convey? How will this proposal work?
Let me first compliment Sansad TV, because today only the news comes and you organize this discussion. Because I think it's a great initiative and a great launch also. The chairman, Professor Jagadesh Kumar, I wish to compliment him, but he was saying that after the news came today, there were calls and calls coming from different sections and different people. So this program is really relevant for today. And the proposal is like NEP 2020 wishes to facilitate higher education in India. And for facilitation, I think removing complexities, removing multiplicities, removing multiple entrances, removing obstacles, they are all part of it. And this step is one major step in that direction, because, you know, I would say it's a colonial background that we doubt the students. At every step, there is a test. They have done 12th, then they go for NEET, then they go for JEE, then they go for CUET, and then multiple other exams which are local maybe, or different institutions try to have them. So bringing this one examination would really give them a relief. Not only they, I would say in India, it's not only an exam for a child, it's an exam for the entire family.
Entire family.
You know, because they all go, they escort, they find places. So it will really facilitate, like what Prime Minister Modi says, ease of doing business, ease of living. So it will be ease of getting into higher education institutions or different professions. The proposal at the moment is, it's just beginning, it's an idea. One nation, one entrance test. So it's an idea that the 12th exam, after 12th exam, there will be one common entrance test, which would give them choices about subjects. So those who want to go for NEET, maybe their biology and then physics, chemistry, because they are common, I think, would be taken care of. For JEE, mathematics, physics, chemistry. So they don't have to go for physics, chemistry every time. At one place, maybe mathematics counts, at other place, the biology counts, and the other subjects which are common to CUET would be taken into that common entrance examination, and the institutions who are giving admission will take those subjects which are relevant for their entrance into that institution. It's just the beginning, I would say. The plan is to have a committee of experts first, so that it can be discussed threadbare, the various dimensions can be seen, then it will be put into the public domain, there will be consultation with the stakeholders, we are identifying the stakeholders, and then I think there will be a draft put up again in public domain. We will discuss in the commission, And then there'll be a concrete plan laid out or rolled out before the nation.
And is there a timeline, Professor Yadav, in terms of, by when can it be implemented? Because these all steps obviously are going to take time.
Exactly. No, a timeline is not there, but it is said that we don't want to do it in a hurried manner so that there are no glitches. And we also want to take lessons from CUET. You know, the various glitches which came up because it was a very, very massive attempt. So all that experience will also be taken into account. But hopefully, I believe, naturally, because one session has started, before next session, we must roll it out. And another good part of it is that we would like to give them chance twice a year. So those who are there in July, fine, or July, August, then the second attempt will be available for them in December.
Okay.
So that once you lose one, your entire year doesn't go.
So will this also apply to other undergraduate courses as well? These two attempts in July and December.
Yeah, it is common entrance for all.
Okay.
Basically. That.
So to rephrase it, and for the general public's consumption, the CUET undergraduate course is for admission to central universities, and there are 61 domain subjects in which students can appear and apply to various universities. In addition to those universities, now the medical colleges and the engineering colleges will also become part of the entrance
and
test.
State universities and all other universities which want to become part of it. And then there'll be entrance, choice of entrance will be available for them because NTA conducts all these examinations. So if the same agency is conducting the examinations, it's much better that they prepare for one.
Okay.
And then there'll be entrance centers, examination centers, as close as possible.
Okay, we'll come to that. We'll come to that process of conducting examination a bit later as well. Let me first bring in Professor Rajendra Pandey here. Professor Pandey, your views there on this proposal seems like as Professor Yadav is pointing out that it's going to become much more easier for the students and perhaps much more easier for the educational institutions as well.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity. First, I would congratulate the University Grants Commission for taking this evolutionary step. My expectations from the system would be much more. Because if as a nation, it's not only the entrance examination, the whole curriculum and should also be uniform throughout the country with minor variation in terms of linguistics. If you consider three aspects that we are not going into the parents' perspective, the examiner's perspective, and the student's perspective. Taking all into account, there can be no better proposal than this. It not only saves times of everyone economically, it is better proposal. The only thing is that all universities, it should not be that left to them to join. It should be mandatory that all state university will also be a part of it. And there can be a state-wise list from which the student can join the institute of their choice.
Okay.
And the curriculum in the perspective of medical commission, what I would say that, sorry.
Yes, please.
What, as a perspective of medical commission, we would say that as we are also proposing of movement of candidates from one stream to other stream, it is also very important that the entrance needs to be a single one.
Okay.
So that those who are joining pharmacology, those who are joining nursing, and all these things, subsequently there can be an interplay from one stream to other stream if they qualify and they can change. So it is in our perspective, it's an evolutionary step.
Okay.
But it should not end here. We should go further.
Okay. Those are very interesting points, Professor Yadav, and I'll come to you as well. But let me first bring in, Professor Kanhere here as well. Professor Kanhere, when this entire proposal is being talked about, ultimately it comes to the implementation part. And, you being a member of the NTA, since NTA is the agency which conducts all these examinations, conducting them as a whole, as one common entrance, how easy or how difficult it might be? What might be the challenges?
So, first of all, I will like to congratulate the chairman of UGC that he has initiated a process. Theoretically, it is correct that the single exam is good for the students. It will save the time, money, all the things are there. But practically saying, I am of the opinion these three exams, they are of different nature. Moreover, the number of students who will appear in this exam will increase when we will merge three exams. So, whatever process we want to adopt, we should go for it only after conducting the CUET very successfully. As you know, while conducting these exams, so many problems were there. Three steps of examination, that is before examination, during examination, and after examination. As far as first and third steps is concerned, there is no problem. But regarding the conduction of exam, so many problems, technical problems were there. So I am of the opinion that at least for 1 or 2 years, we should not merge these three exams, and we should go for it only after successfully conducting the CUET at least for 2 sessions. This
Okay.
is my opinion.
Okay, okay. Professor Yadav, your comments on that response, because what Professor Kanere is pointing out is, we've all witnessed that CUET had some teething troubles, when the exam was conducting. So do you agree with what he's pointing out, that perhaps we first stabilize the CUET-UG, and during the this particular period, in the meantime, all these consultation processes will also be taken care of. There'll be views coming on board, and then come up with a final draft and a final plan.
I respect what Professor Kanere has said, because that's the experience of this year. There are two ways of solving a problem. One is that you experiment first on a micro level and then move on to macro level. The other is when you're conducting it at micro level, you find out the glitches, you find out the weaknesses, and you fix them up in the process itself. Time will tell what we can do. But I think what our chairperson had in mind, and the ministry is also working overnight with this CUET and making it successful. The purpose, I think, is that when we are going into CUET, the same agency doing it, so what problems were perceived were because there were some centers who did not perform. There were some people who did not perform. So if NTA takes care of all these, they are planning to have their own permanent centers, they'll identify places and have their own centers. If that happens, these kinds of glitches won't happen. Like if you've seen NET goes smoothly, because by now we mastered that art, or NT has mastered that art. So CUET was the beginning this year. And for a beginning, it was not bad. And over these days, because I was told that now onwards, they have completely, control over the situation.
Okay.
I would never mind if we have to wait, because waiting is never bad. But at times, if we go with the process, we may even do better.
Okay, okay.
And we have to take care of what Professor Pandey also said.
Indeed, I wanted to bring that part here,
Yes, yes.
ensuring that everybody is on board. Now, as of now, it's just the central universities, and what Professor Pandey is pointing out becomes very valid when you're talking about, the medical colleges or the engineering colleges as well, at state level, central level also. So how will that process be worked about?
I think it'll go with the NEP 2020, because it is the federal process. It's a federal system. We have to take all the states all on board, because that's important. So that consultation is going on, but when it becomes mandatory, I'm sure the states will fall in line. And I think ultimately it's going to benefit the students, their parents, the society at large, and finally I would say the nation at large, because that will bring unity. As far as entrance is concerned, I would rather go a step further and say that the variety of boards also creates problems, and that's why these entrance examinations in fact came into existence. Otherwise, after a 12th examination, of course, to maybe filter the students, these were brought into place. But otherwise, I think there should be minimal testing after a major test, and so that's in a very good direction that the UGC and the MHRD at moment are thinking to minimize stresses. You can look at the stress of parents and 12-year students, So I think that will minimize, and the knowledge and the aptitude both can be tested. One more thing, it will be facilitated because it's machine-based examination by and large. CUET was completely machine-based. So they will be ensuring the process that there are internet connections, that there are machines, right machines available, and their right kind of centers.
Okay.
And then we'll go to vernacular and all that, because that is a step further.
We'll come to that part as well, but let me first, bring in Professor Pandey on the point which Professor Kanere made. Professor Pandey, would you agree with what Professor Kanere was saying in terms of implementation? Because the real test of any plan is when it is implemented, and of course, it is going to be at a very large scale. Majority of the students, when we the figure which I was mentioning, that around approximately 43 lakhs, majority of them are those who appear for the either medical entrance exam or the engineering entrance exams. Professor Pandey?
If we go by the present system is a system of elimination of students who are not eliminated, they get into admission. Probably our system needs to evolve further to a rationalization rather than elimination. The whole curriculum and the training should be in a position where a student will not be afraid of examination. He will be able to align himself in a rational manner to the subject which he wants to learn. And this examination system should facilitate in helping him out and taking out the curriculum which he can pursue to his test. The examination system at the moment is terrorizing. It has become coaching center based. If we really want to make this education system purposeful, probably these coaching system needs to be eliminated so that the right merit comes up for admission in a rationalized manner, so that the system and the universities will run in a better manner.
Okay. Professor Kanere, in terms of implementation part again, and I'm combining this aspect here, the merit of the proposal and also the way forward in terms of implementation. Now, what you're suggesting is that we should take it a bit slow, first master the art in the CUET-UG and then move forward. And Professor Yadav, seems to agree with you, but with the caveat that we need to move ahead, of course, taking in consideration all aspects. Will, in the long run, in terms of, challenges and the way those challenges need to be tackled for implementation by the NTA, how do you think things should move ahead? Even if we have to move ahead in due course of time in 1 or 2 years?
Theoretically, the idea is very good. But one more point I will like to demonstrate is the standard or the difficulty level of JEE or the another entrance exam, that is NEET, that is entirely different from the entrance test. Moreover, the number of students will be so huge that it will be very difficult to manage the centers all over India. So what I suggest is we should conduct some mock test, and after successfully conducting the 5 or 6 mock tests, if we are finding the satisfactory result, only then we should go for the merger of these 3 exams. So 2 points are very clear. The nature of these 3 exams, they are entirely different. The difficulty level of the question paper, they are different. And the number of participants will be so huge that it will be very difficult to conduct the exam simultaneously. So this is my suggestion. So first, we should have the perfect idea about how to conduct this CUET, and at least after 1 or 2 years, we should go for this merger of the exam.
Okay. Some very interesting, observations coming in from Professor Kanere there. Professor Yadav, since this is a proposal which has just come in, and obviously there's going to be a lot of discussion on this, but these are valid aspects. How do you look at these challenges? One is difficulty level, which Professor Kanere is pointing out. How do we deal with that aspect?
I think it's too early to comment on that, because the expert committee is going to really look at all these dimensions, and I surely take the suggestions which Professor Kanere has given to us, to the Commission also, and to the Commission chairperson as well. But I think the speed that our chairperson has is a real fast pace. And he would like to do that, maybe at a faster pace also. But the difficulty level will surely be taken care by the paper setters. And, till now there were different exams. So there were different purposes. And there were different standards also. Once we combine them, these dimensions or these aspects will surely be taken care of.
Okay, and how about what Professor Pandey was earlier referring to, the linguistic part, the issue with the
Exactly.
change of stream as well.
Exactly. No, and because it has been started because of that only, that there can be options available to the student after this common entrance also. And one can, look for opportunities. Till now, if one has given JEE, one can't go into NEET anyway. And one can't go into CUET direct. One has to go for CUET. So there are different kinds of examinations. But with this common entrance examination, I think that aspect will also be taken care of, which NEP says, seamless transition. More choices being available for the students. So if you can't get into this stream, you can try this stream. If you can't get into this stream, then you can try X stream or Y stream or Z stream, And after that, we will go to vernacular also, because that's one very important dimension of NEP, that mother tongue should be promoted and language in mother tongue or vernacular languages also to be promoted. AICTE has already worked on many areas of science education, technology education, and try to bring, courses also and material also in those languages. So once one has that, then examination will also be set into that. It's a complete process of, I won't say indigenization, but Indianization of the entire higher education system.
Okay.
It is a long way, of course, but once we begin, these are baby steps maybe, once we begin, I'm sure we will be able to go further. And I think finally, if we are able to take it, it will be a real revolutionary step.
Okay.
It will really change the entire system of getting into higher education, which at the moment is very complex, very cumbersome, and it doesn't really facilitate. It puts brakes, it puts obstacles on your way, that you give this exam, then you give this exam. So I would look at the entire process in that way, but the process that is going to be unfolded now, that expert committee will go into it, then stakeholders will have their own ways and views, and then it will come to commission also. And again, it will be put in public domain. So I would say all these dimensions which are coming up, all these suggestions which are coming up are also going to the public domain now. They'll also be taken care of.
That indeed was the motive.
Exactly. That is the purpose. And I think then what the proposal that comes out after that, or the regulations that come out after that, will surely be fuller, more comprehensive, more careful, more cautious. And I think a perfect proposal will come before the public.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. All these aspects, we've set the ball rolling in terms of inviting suggestions and looking at various aspects as well. Thank you so much, Professor Yadav there, Professor Kanere, and Professor Pandey also for sharing your views and insight. As all our panelists are pointing out, of course, this is a very important and very significant move in terms of the proposal of conducting a joint entrance exam for engineering courses, medical courses, and the other university level undergraduate courses, which are right now being conducted under the umbrella of CUET-UG and separately NEET and JEE as well. Now, there are various suggestions in terms of the implementation part, in terms of ensuring that there is a level playing field when we're talking about the difficulty level as well. And as our experts were pointing out, that it is going to go through an extensive consultative process before a final draft is out. We'll keep you updated on this and other topics as well. Till then, keep watching Sansad Television. Thank you.